Hey everyone, welcome to Worlds Swiss Stage Day 2. Spoilers for that day if you haven't seen those matches yet. Here are my power rankings after the first day, but after the second day we'll see. I'll definitely make some changes to that. The most important thing that happened in Day 2 was LNG knocking down tournament favorites BLG in a really exciting Nocturne Yone game. Let's get into it. Okay, so here at the first fight, BLG is already up 3k gold, and LNG's comp is really kind of, I don't want to say bad, but it's very much like a glass cannon. So here BLG is grouped at 5, the Poppy ult comes in and knocks Vi completely out of the fight, making it a 4v5, and so a 3k gold lead isn't much when it's a 4v5, and Yone and Nocturne love 4v5s. So here comes the Yone, flash in, R through everyone, and the Wei is not in the fight at all. So this is just a 4v5. So no matter how bad Nocturne and Yone are, you're going to win a 4v5. And what Yone and Nocturne are good at is forcing a fight. Usually you don't want to force a fight with Nocturne and Yone because you're just going to dive in and then die. But because Poppy's giving you a numbers advantage, it's perfect synergy. So here we again see Nocturne's pretty bad champ. Diving in doesn't do anything because you just get blown up, but Zika on the flank, huge difference maker, and then Poppy knocking out K'Sante, and again, it's a numbers advantage. And so, despite the fact that LNG was losing up until this point, they only take fights where they have a numbers advantage because of Poppy and with Zika on the flank. At this point, LNG has racked up a 3k gold lead, and most of it is on the Yone 1.7k gold up. And so here you want to think of Yone exactly like you would think of a Master Yi in solo queue, that he's the main threat. We're going to save our CC for him. We're all going to turtle up as 5 and just save it. And if he tries to jump in, then we'll use our CC and he'll die instantly. Yone is incredibly fragile. They do the exact opposite of what I say. They see this Poppy caught out here, the only tanky champion on the entire team. They spend Vi Q, Jin Root, Rel R, Vi R, like every single bit of CC that they have in the kit done right before the Yone comes in. Really, really bad play from BLG here. And then the Yone just cleans up because they have no CC left. So Ashe did very little this game, Nocturne did very little this game. Zika was great on the Rumble, Hong was amazing on the Poppy, just making so many fights have a numbers advantage. And then Yone was good because of the Poppy and because all of BLG just would waste all of their CC before the Yone came in. This Gen G versus Top Esports game is an absolute banger. Highly recommend you watch the full thing. Not uncommon for Gen G to get these early game gold losses. TES actually up 1.4k gold at 12 minutes, but Gen G always has a way of kind of catching up in the mid and late game through just being probably the best team fighting team in the tournament. Here, remember when I was saying Yone is weakest when you're a front to back team fight? Well, this is the opposite of a front to back because Yone finds the flank and Jahilove the back is in the front from this angle. So that's not good. Then nice R in from Pays. And then a little bit of a split call here. 369 wants to go up and kill the Pays, but Tian wants to finish off Canyon. And they can't really decide which way to go. He had a Q here, Tian. He could have used it up here on Pays, but he decides to go for Canyon instead. And that lets Pays just free fire on this entire team. And Pays at such high health, going to bring the damage down. There's no threat to him. He just has so much health to play with. He could tank so much stuff. I always like to highlight the mediocre Yone plays because everyone focuses on the great ones. So here, level 15 Yone misses everything, gets CC'd up, and is super squishy. I'm telling you, Yone's going to have a 55% win rate at most by the time this tournament is over. Champ is very overrated. And then this, Gen G is on the Baron, but the way they peel off all the champs, they have Leona and Gnar on this side, and then Chovy can dash over the wall. Maokai can dash over the wall. Kai'Sa can dash over the wall. And so they've all peeled off the Baron over the wall without a single flash spent, because every single champion in their kit has a dash except the Leona, who was already over there. And so they still have the flashes up. They have the stopwatch on Kai'Sa. The fact that she can build Seeker's Arm Guard because she uses the AP, so useful. Best team fighters. Here, Gen G 10k gold up. TES make a phenomenal last stand here. Gen G going a little bit too aggressive. Putting all the damage down on Sejuani. It's too tanky. Great equalizer into Rel ultimate, bringing them all in. So I think TES put up a really good showing here, just not quite enough to beat Gen G, but I would not say that this game means that TES is a weak team at all. G2 versus HLE, even more of a banger than the last one. You should definitely watch this one in full if you haven't. Here, HLE have a lead, and they're getting a little too excited that they're going to catch this Yone here. This is one of Yone's weaknesses. You know exactly where he's coming back to, and he usually dies in this situation. But you see that Peanut is actually a tiny bit early on the Sejuani R, so he misses. And that gives Caps the ability to buffer R out. And now they just go way too deep trying to follow the Yone, and now it's too late for Peanut to get out. G2 teleports in, and they're trying to, save each other, but also get out, and they just end up losing so many kills here. 1, 2. We can see here one of the good things about Yone. He's got an angle on this Ashe. One of the few champs where Braum can't really help that much because the Yone goes to the other side and the shield's not blocking anything. Really good Yone play there out of Caps. Caps is a good Yone player. I mean, an amazing player overall, but not every amazing player can play Yone. We can see Caps, even though he's level 18 and fed, really struggling against this level 18 Jax because Stopwatch brings your E back up. While he's in E, Caps can't get any auto damage down on the Jax. Jax uses the ultimate, which gives him extra armor. Here he has the redemption coming in. He has a shield from the Sterix gauge, and then the E is right back up. Stopwatch and the Sterix gauge means that every fight you're guaranteed to get like 2 or 3 E's. There's just no way anyone can kill you. Jack's such a strong late game champ. So here we have this very chaotic endgame that G2 is very known for. This is a situation where they would almost certainly win if they were in Europe. Caps is going for the end on top, and so all of G2, the other 4, are going to try to stop all these 5 backs. But Doran's able to get the TP off in time. And as we saw before, level 18 Jax is one of the only champs that can stand up to level 18 Yone. Normally, G2 would be able to win this 4v4 if it was Europe, if they were a few K gold up, but HLE is such a strong champ, and they have the 8-0 Smolder here. So HLE is not scared of this 4v4 at all, because they don't have Yone, and you have your super fed mid laner. So Caps' only hope is to teleport back into the fight to make it a 4v5, but Doran just cancels that with the E, and they're cooked. So G2 tried every trick, but HLE was just catching every single ball they threw. Such amazing, calm, clean play by HLE. Super, super impressive. Very impressive game out of G2 as well. I'll probably raise them a bit in my rankings, but HLE just solid, dude. TL versus Weibo, both playing terribly all game, which I expected from TL after yesterday's performance, but I expected a little better from Weibo. Trying to take this Baron in a 5v4. We see they just kind of get poked out a lot. Baron poking Tarzan out. Poke, poke, poke here. APA wants to kill. Goes for the E stun. He's going to flash R. But Xiaohu right here has already set the shockwave to go off. And so he's actually pulled back before he can press the R button. And now he's actually out of range to press R on the Orianna. And so he, in desperation, presses R onto the Gnar, but nothing happens. Light gets hit by the Orianna Q, and then flashes into the wave and just dies. Crisp's engage is ruined. This is like some collegiate LoL level of play that we're seeing. Here we see Syndra, often not the best mid laner you could have in the late game compared to a Yone or a Smolder or an Orianna or something. He unleashes everything on Breathe, Q, R, and it just does nothing, and he just pops the Syndra instantly. So Team Liquid looking just as weak as they did yesterday, but Weibo kind of dropping to their level, which is not good. For the Brazilian fans, Pain Gaming Hype actually got first blood here. Guma blows the cleanse, and then is so disrespectful here with no cleanse, walking back up. Just totally disrespecting Pain Gaming. And for a brief moment, Pain Gaming had a 400 gold lead. And then T1 got some kills. And then T1 had a 5k gold lead. And then T1 won the game. Here, FlyQuest versus D+. Whippo sees that there are 3 people here. And instead of running away, pops his ghost and runs into 3 of them. Someone should probably get on a coaching call and give Whippo some tips on positioning. Insane play from Showmaker here. They're trying to dive him, but he takes the Amumu ult, so they try to stun him up and do damage, but they don't quite get him. Then he gets his Amumu ult off, and basically he needs his Kingslayer to regain some of his health. He proto belts through, because he's Kingslaying back anyway onto the Amumu and flash out, and Drain tanks just enough health to live through the bleed on the guillotine. Insane. Amazing play from Showmaker here. Proto belt in, and now he takes the Ashe ultimate, and even though he's following up on Masu, shoots the arrow over at Quad, and Vi also, instead of focusing on Masu, chases after Quad, and they just man-to-man get both kills. Beautiful. More awesomeness from Showmaker here. The game's over, but the way he takes the Amumu ult, flash in, 4-man Amumu ult or something. D plus Kia handling this a lot better than Weibo handling TL. Here, Gam's only advantage is on the Jax being 2k up, 2.5k up. And we can, if we just watch the Jax, not doing anything with that 2.5k gold, everything onto the Leona, and then just poked out by the Gnar, and is kind of neither really staying back and peeling for the team, nor willing to jump in. And so without the Jax, it's like a 4k gold lead for Fnatic. Again, Kiaya is the only gold lead on their team, so it's on him to do a lot. He does a little bit onto the Gnar. Him and Rel's job to guard these carries, but they get kind of lost in the sauce here. The carries get isolated, and this is exactly what Yone wants, is a direct line onto the carries. Here's another look, even if you're 6k gold down, how weak Yone looks if you actually save your CC for him. Yone coming in, CC'd up, and he's very squishy. So as long as you save some CC for him, the champ is pretty bad. Fnatic 8k gold up here, having a way too hard of a time closing this game out. They get it done in the end, but I would not say this is a particularly good showing from Fnatic. By this fight, PSG almost 4k gold up, and there's just no damage on this comp. Smolders doesn't have stacks yet. Ziggs ult in the air here only hits the Rel and the Maokai, so the carry's just not doing much damage at this stage in the game. Kai'Sa instantly pops the Smolder, and you're just completely out of damage. Here, Supa just not getting it done on the Ziggs. Throws the Inferno Bomb here, and doesn't hit a single person, because the Kai'Sa goes into the stopwatch. Mad Lions just kind of completely rolling over and dying this game. I do think their team comp was part of the problem. But Mad Lions looking a little stronger than PSG in play-ins. PSG definitely looking stronger now. So no idea what to think. Maybe they're about even. We'll have to see how it goes tomorrow. Okay, Gen G and Anwar, I've moved to the very top. They had beautiful games today. BLG, I'm not quite putting below LNG because I still think if they had a rematch that BLG would be a little more likely to win. But LNG coming up and BLG coming down off of that. Really good comeback from LNG in that game. G2 moving up in the world. I was impressed by their match against Hanwha Life. I'm putting them above Weibo because that Weibo performance against TL was disgraceful. I don't know if I'm ready to put them above D+, because D+ was pretty strong today, actually. So these two might be interchangeable. And then Mad Lions just going down to that D tier, not putting up any fight in that game. these bottom 4 teams just really not showing any signs of life in this Swiss stage, but also probably a pretty big gap between FlyQuest and Weibo here. I'd be surprised if any of these bottom 7 teams take a game off of these top 9 teams, but we'll see what happens later on in the tournament. Make sure to watch the most important thing from day 1 of Swiss if you haven't already. Watch that video, and to subscribe for all the other coverage and all my other videos. Amazing day of games today. Especially I recommend that Onma Life game versus G2 and the Gen G versus Top Esports game, and really excited to see what the games will have in store tomorrow. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.